Hey everyone, in the previous video we have created this design using Figma. So if you haven't watched that video yet, don't forget to check that out. I will leave the link at the description below. And now in this video we are going to convert this design into an actual website, and we are going to use HTML, CSS and a little bit of JavaScript to do it. And for more videos just like this one, don't forget to subscribe the channel and click the bell icon. So without any further ado, let's get started with it. At first I am going to go to our desktop and create a new folder for our website, and I am going to name it Travel Landing. And inside this folder I am going to create a new file for the HTML. Let's name it index.html. It doesn't need the text extension. And also a CSS file, a style.css, and another one for the JavaScript. Let's open a new text document and name it script.js. Also I am going to paste the image for the background here. This is the background image. I have got the image from unsplash.com, and now I am going to open the entire folder by using Visual Studio Code. Okay, now at first we need to add an boilerplate with the index.html. I am using an extension named Emmet. It is actually pre-installed in Visual Studio Code. But if you are using any other code editors, you can also use the Emmet as an extension. So if you want to learn more about the extension, I have a video about that. Now to get a boilerplate, we are going to type exclamatory sign and then press tab. Now this is our boilerplate. Let's change the title to Travel Landing. And also we need to link the CSS. It's a style.css, we don't need to do anything else here. Now let's also add the script. It's the script.js. Okay, now we can start creating the markup for the project. And here at first we need to add the logo and the navigation items, then this text, that button, and this text and the social icons. So let's start with it. At first we need to get the image because we don't have it. We created it in Figma. We can actually export it as a group or as an image. So in desktop, this is the folder, and I'm going to name it logo.png. Now it has been saved. So let's go to the code editor, and at first let's create a container. We are going to add some margins with it, so it will have some gap at the left and right. Now inside it, let's create the header, and I'm going to add a class of header. Inside this header, let's at first get the logo. Okay, now the logo is actually an anchor tag for the home, so we can actually keep that blank for now. Let's add the image. It's in the base folder, so we don't need to use anything. We can just type the name. Now we have added our logo. Let's move on to the next thing, which is the navigation item. So let's use nav tag with the class of nav, and inside it let's use another list with the class of nav list. Inside it there will be the li or the list items. We have 4 items in the list items, and each of them will have an anchor tag. So here we go. Let's put hash. Now inside this anchor tag, the first one is packages. Let's just go to the Figma and we can directly copy from it. We don't need to type that out. This is the second one. This is the third one, and contact is the last one. So the navigation items are done. The header section is done actually, but in the future we are going to add some buttons to make it responsive. Now let's move on to this one. We can copy the text, we can actually do that. Now after finishing of the header tag, I am going to create a new div with the class of section title, or maybe title section, and inside it I am going to put the text inside an JSON tag. After that, let's use an anchor tag, and the text is explore. This will be this button here. Now for this text, I am going to copy all of the text from here. Let's create another div after it, and I am going to name it descriptions. Inside it, the first one will be the description text, and we can create another div which will contain all the social icons. Then we can use the flexbox or the grid to align them. So let's do that. At first div, and we are going to name it description text. Let's use an paragraph tag and paste all of the text inside it. And for the second div, let's use the class of description social. Inside it, we are going to add another list, and the list item, let's add 4 items. Actually, let's ignore that. Let's use an anchor tag hash, and we are actually going to use font awesome. That's why we need to go to the fontawesome.com. So I'm going to use my kit here. So kits, and we got the link from here. This is our link. We can just copy the kit code and add it here. Now we can use the font awesome. Okay, for the font awesome, let's use FAB, because this is the logo for the brand. FA-Instagram. I think this is the first icon here. Instagram, Pinterest, Facebook, Twitter. We can just make some copy. Let's copy this. First one is Instagram, the next one is Pinterest, third one is Facebook, the last one is Twitter. Let's save, and now I'm using a plugin called the Live Server. Now it has this icon here, go live. If we click that, it will open the project in our browser. Now this is our icons, everything is fine. Now we can move on to the next stage, which is the styling. So in this project, we have used this font called Source Sans Pro. So at first we are going to import the font in our style.css. We can also import it inside our index.html. So we are going to grab the font from the fonts.google.com. The name of the font is Source Sans Pro. This is the one. We don't need to import each of the stylings. We can just get the regular one, maybe the semi bold. We have used the semi bold, we need that. Also bold and the black. Let's import this one. Now we are going to grab the font family stylings. Okay, now let's add some universal stylings to get rid of the default padding and margin. Margin 0, padding also 0. Box sizing will be border box. Now the universal stylings are done. Now it will remove the existing padding and margins from the website. Now let's move on to the body, and we are actually going to add the background with it. Let's first add the font family. Let's define a font size of 16 pixels. So if we use the rem unit, it will be on rem equal to 16 pixels. That will be a baseline. Now let's use a background. So for the background we can add, it's the bg.jpg. Let's save, and here we are. But to make this dark, we are going to use the linear gradient. So let's get the rectangle. This is the rectangle and it has this fill. So if we inspect it, we can get the linear gradient. So let's copy the linear gradient, and inside our image in this background we can at first paste it, then put a comma and then the image. I think it will work. Let's see. So in here they are just repeating itself. So we can solve that issue by just putting background repeat, no repeat. I think the issue will be solved now. It is actually solved, but the issue here is with the height. So let's give this body a minimum height of 100 viewport height. So it will take the entire height, and now it looks fine. Okay, at first we are going to style these two here, then we will style navigation bar and these stuffs. So let's first do that. But before getting into that, we need to work on the container because this has no padding and margin around it. So let's target the container, and for the container let's get a margin, and from the top to bottom we don't need any margin, so it will be 0. From left to right let's try 6 mm. Now it has this little gap here and also at the right side. Now let's style this ASON tag, which is the Himalayas. It's inside the title secondary class. Let's get the title sec h1. Now for this text we want to give it a font size because we need to make it bigger. So I am going to use 15 viewport height, so it will be completely responsive. Let's make it smaller, and it reduces with the height of the viewport. So we are going to use the text transform to make it uppercase. Let's make the font weight to be bold, which is 1900, and it's a black actually. Now for the background color, we want the image as a background, right? So that's what we are going to do. Let's get a background URL is the bg.jpg. Now it gets the background image, but it is not actually what we want. So we are going to use the WebKit text fill color. So let's do that. WebKit text fill color, and we are going to make it transparent. Now it is completely transparent, but for the background we want the background to be displayed only for the text. So it will be WebKit background clip and it will be the text. Let's save, and now we got the image as the background. Now in the title section, let's target the title section, and we want the text align to be centered. Okay, but if you want to change the location of the background image, if you don't like it that way, you can change it. For that we can actually use the background position. We can use the percentage. For center we can use 50% and maybe 30%. Let's save, and it looks like this. If you want to play with it, you can just inspect, and this is the title section. We got the background with this ASON. We can move around this image to make it properly centered as the way we want. So for now let's keep it this way, and now let's style the anchor tag. I don't know where it is, but let's target it. It's in the title section. Let's get it a font size of 18 pixels. We can actually go to the Figma and get the file size. Here font families, font weight. Let's just copy this and paste it here. Everything is fine. We don't need the line height. Text align, we don't need it. Everything is fine. Let's save, and it is also invisible. So let's change the color. It's white, so color triple F to make it white, and also it has a this border, so let's get that. But in order to create the padding or the distance between the text and the border, we need to get it a padding. Let's try 25 pixels and 50 pixels, but there is no text here. I think something is wrong in the index.html, and here it is. The text should not be here. It is the text for the anchor tag. Okay, now it looks fine. Let's make it uppercase. Text transform uppercase, and the text decoration none. It will remove the underline, and now it looks fine. To create some gap between this title text and this button, we can add a margin bottom of maybe 40 pixels. Now it has some gap. Also we can add some hover effect with the anchor tag. So let's do that. I'm going to copy the selector and add a hover. On hover we want to change the color of the text. So let's do that. Color this orange one. Now it is changing the color. Also we can make it more attractive by just using a transition for all, and the transition value will be 0.2 second and is okay. We missed S here, 2 second. Now it looks fine. Now let's position this section title at the center. So we can actually do it in two ways. We can give it a height and then make it center, or we can give this container a position of relative, then this section title or title section a position of absolute. Now from left 50%, from top also 50%. Now in order to make it properly centered, we can use the transform, translate, and around the x-axis and around the y-axis. So from the x-axis let's make it minus 50%, and around the y-axis also minus 50%. It is here because the container doesn't have the entire height, so we can give this a height of 100%. It is actually not working, so let's try viewport height. Now it's in the center, but we actually don't want it to be at the center. Let's push it to the top a little bit. So let's try 40% from the top, and it looks fine. Now we are going to position the description here at the bottom. So let's do that. We get this container div which contains all of this, a position of relative. So we can give the descriptions a position of absolute and position it at the bottom. So let's get it, the descriptions, and the position will be absolute. From bottom let's put it down to 6%, and it is in properly positioned. Now we are going to use the display of grid, because if we use flex, then let's see what happens. If we use flex, then this text will take all these positions, then it will leave these social icons just as much space it needs. But we actually give the both of the elements half of the size. That's why we are going to use the grid. We can do it pretty easily with the grid system. Grid. Then we are going to get the grid template columns. We are going to divide it into two sections or two fractions in grid. So on fraction and on fraction. So it will divide it into both ways. Now it is taking half height and this is taking half height. It looks fine, but let's just style this text here. So it has a class of descriptions and then this text. I think this is the class name. Let's just copy this to make sure. Okay, it is fine. Now let's give them a color of, we need to get the color. This is the color. Also, if you want, we can get all of the properties. Actually, let's do that. I'm going to copy it and paste it here. Okay, here we are. Now, in this line at the left side, we can do it in two ways. We can either create an pseudo element like before or after, or we can just simply add a border to the left side of this text. So let's keep this simple and add a border to the left. So let's do that. Border left 6 pixels solid and the orange color. Okay, it is fine, but we need to create some gap. That's why we are going to use an padding at the left side. Let's try 17 pixels, and now it has a nice gap at the left. Now let's style this social icons. So let's get the class name from index.html. This is the description social. Now this has this default list styling. We are going to remove that. UL and list style none. Now I'm just going to copy this and style the list items. We need them to be inline. So let's make the display inline block. Now they will be appear in a same line. Let's give the padding left of 25 pixels. Now it will have some gap among them. Now let's style the icons. Again I'm going to copy it and it will be the eye. This is the font of some icons. We are going to change the colors, give it a hover color. So color white. Let's give it a font size of 30 pixels. It will make them bigger. And let's also add a transition. All 0.2 second, maybe is in out. So now let's set the hover effect. On hover, we want to change the color to this orange. Font size, we can remove these two. Also, we can make a rotate effect. So when you hover on that, it will rotate on time. So let's do that. And we are going to use transform, not transition. Transform, rotate, and 360 degree. Okay, let's save. And now it got a nice rotation when you hover on that, and it actually looks fine, but the line alignment are not proper here. For that we are going to add align items center. Now they are properly aligned in this grid box. Now let's move on to the navigation bar. We are going to use the flex box here. I am going to minimize this so we can see it. Okay, now let's do it. At first we need to get the header. We got the header, a class of header. Let's make the display flex. Justify content will be a space between, so they will be aligned at opposite direction like that. Align items will be centered. Now let's also add a padding at the top, so it will have some gap at the top and this navigation bar. Let's give it a value of 40 pixels. It looks fine. Now we are going to style these navigation items here. So it got a nav with the class of nav. UL has a class of nav list. I think it is nav list. Let's see. Yes, it is nav list. We are going to make the list style none. Now let's target the list item nav ul li, and we are going to make it display inline block. Now they will be appearing in the same line. Now let's target the link items ul lia. Let's make the text decoration none, so it will remove the underlines. Also makes the font size to 18 pixels. We can actually get the stylings from Figma. Let's make the font weight of 700 maybe. Color will be white, this one. Let's give them a margin to the left side of try 45 pixels. It will have some nice gaps around them. Also we are going to make the display inline block. We don't need that usually, but in this case we are going to need it later because we are going to add some hover effect. Let's also give it a padding at the bottom side of 7 pixels. Okay, we are fine. But now we are going to add an hover effect with the pseudo element, which is after. So let's target that nav ul lia. We need to give the position of relative, so we can give the pseudo element a position of absolute. So let's try after, and the content will be blank. Let's make the position absolute. Let's give it a height and height of 2 pixels. The height will be 100%, so it will take the entire height of the parent element, which is this anchor tag. Let's give it a background color of the orange color. Now we can see it, but we need to position it now. So let's do that from bottom 0 and from left also 0. Now they are properly positioned. Now we want this underline to be invisible, but when you hover on that, it slides from the left side. We can actually do that. So in order to apply the hover effect with the pseudo element, it will be something like this: nav ul li a, and when you hover on the a, so hover, and then we need to add the pseudo element, which is after. So when you hover on that, we need to change the left, right? So let's make the left 0, and in this case, in the normal position, we can make it minus 100%. Now when you hover on that, it slides. So in order to make it smoother, we can add a transition all 0.3 second is in out. Now it got this slide effect with some nice transition, but we don't want to display it here, it looks ugly. So we can make the overflow hidden, not with this one, not with the pseudo element, but with the parent element. Now it should be gone and it looks fine. Also, if we want, we can change the color of the text when hover. So for that, we can target the ul lia. The color will be this one. If you want to add some transition with that also, we can do that. Let's add the same transition. All 0.3 second is okay. It looks fine, but now we are going to make it responsive. Although it is not going to be very much sophisticated, but it will look fine in mobile displays. So let's make it small. Okay, it is looking very much ugly now, but now we are going to solve it. So we are actually going to use on media query, but if you want to make it more advanced and sophisticated, you can try other breakpoints and make it perfect. So let's create our media query. Only screen and max height. Let's try 640 pixels. That will be our breakpoint. Okay, here we are. Now this container has too much margin. We actually don't want that. So let's target the container and margin from top to bottom. It is 0. From left to right, it is actually 6 EM, and we are going to make it on EM. Now it has this much gap. Now let's target this one first. It is looking very much ugly. So it is the description. So let's target the description, and it has a grid template columns, right? So we are going to use the grid template columns and on fraction. So it will take the entire height. Now we can remove the border to the right side and make the text center. So description text, border left, let's make it none, it will be gone. We actually got the border left with the description text and description. Let's get all of this and paste it here, and let's try none again, and it will work. Now we need the text to be centered, so text align center. What is the line height? The line height was 25 pixels. We can reduce down a little bit. Line height, let's try 23 pixels. It will be more congested, and I like this way. Now let's make all of this centered. So they are in the descriptions and description social. Justify self. Before it was the flex end, we actually don't want it, so we are going to make it centered. Now they are centered. Let's also add a padding. Let's use margin at the top, so it will have some gap with this text. I'm going to give it a gap of 40 pixels. It will have some gaps. Now let's modify this button. It is too big for this display size. Here's the title section anchor tag. Let's reduce the font size a little bit to 15 pixels. Font weight of 600. Let's reduce the letter spacing also, and we are going to use 2 EM. Let's reduce the border height to 2 pixels. Okay, let's also reduce the padding a little bit of 15 pixels and 30 pixels. Okay, now it looks much better. Now we are going to style the navigation bar here. In order to do that, we want it to be hidden in a smaller display in this breakpoint. So let's do that. Here's the nav. Let's make the display none. Okay, it is currently none. But for a smaller display, we want to show a hamburger icon, and when we click that, the menu will be displayed and the hamburger icon will be changed to a cross icon. Although we can use font awesome icons, but I actually don't like the font awesome hamburger icons. It looks ugly. So we are going to use hero icons. So first one is the hamburgers. If we click it, it just copied the menu as the SVG. So let's move on to the index.html and create another div here. I am going to name it toggle, and inside this toggle, let's paste the SVG. The class is for Tailwind. It doesn't work here, so we're going to give it a class of open. And now let's get the cross icon. Okay, we got both of the icons, and I'm going to paste it here. Let's give it a class of close. Let's save. Here is the icons. It is so small that we cannot see. So let's move up here and let's target the SVG. The class name was toggle and SVG. Let's give it a height of 50 pixels. It will be bigger than this, and it is. We also want to make the color to be white. Now in this condition we don't want to show this cross icons, so we are on to toggle the visibility of these classes by using JavaScript. We can actually do it pretty easily. We can add a class of hidden and add this hidden class with this open button to make it hidden also. So for that we need to target the hidden and make it display none. Let's save, and it is invisible. So everything is fine now, but for larger size displays we don't want the hamburger icons here. That's why we are going to make it display none. Display none. But for this size, inside this media query we want the toggle display inline block. Now it is visible. Now we need to style this navigation bar. When we click on that, the navigation bar will be displayed here, so we need to style it. So for now I am going to make it inline block to make it visible, and these are the items. So we are going to position it here. For that, the nav class is inside this header, so we are going to give this header a position of relative and this nav a position of absolute, so that we can position it properly. Now the display is inline block, but we actually don't want that. We want to make it block, so it will take an entire line. Nav ULLI display will be block, so it will take the entire line. Now let's position them. From top, let's move down 130% and let's see how this works. It is actually not working. Sorry, it will not be with it. It will be here with the nav. So we can actually add an background with the link items. So let's do that. Nav ULLIA. Let's give them a background color. We are actually going to use the RGBA. This one. It is actually taking that much oil it needs only. So we are going to make the display to block. But this is the interoid of this nav. If we inspect it, we can see that. To take it the interoid, we need to give the oid of the nav of 100%. Now it looks better, but still it has some gap here. Now this anchor text here has a margin at the left, so we are going to make it 0, and now it looks fine. So let's add some padding, and I'm going to use padding of 15 pixels at the top to bottom and 20 pixels at the left and right. It looks fine. On hover we don't want it here, so we can remove that. Nav ULLIA and the pseudo element was the after, and the content none. Now it looks fine, but when we hover on that, we want to do something here. Nav ULLIA hover. Let's suppose we want to change the background color. Let's make the background to white. Now if you want the background white, we want to change the color of this anchor tag, and it is currently orange, so it looks fine. But as you can see, text here, the Himalayas is on the top of the items. In order to fix that, we can use a Z index of more than on, which is less than 99, and it looks fine now. So now let's move on to the script.js, the JavaScript file to make this work. So we want 3 elements. We want this navigation bar, so it will be hidden by default, but when you click on this hamburger icon it will be displayed. That's why we need the hamburger icon also, and also the cross icon. So this nav has a display of inline block. Let's make it none. Now let's go to the script.js. We are going to create some variable const nav document dot query selector, and it has a class of nav. The next thing, actually we can just copy this. The next thing we want is the open and the close. It has a class of open, this hamburger icon, and it has a class of close. Okay, we got all of this. Now we need to work on this open. It got this hamburger icon, so we are going to add an event listener with it. So let's do that. Add event listener. The event will be click. I think the spelling is wrong. There will be an E after the T. That's fine. When you click on that, something will happen, right? So we are going to use an ES6 arrow function, and at first we want the nav to be visible. So we got the nav with this nav variable, and we make the nav display none. That's what we are going to change. So nav style dot display. Display is the property we want to change, and we want to make this inline block, or also we can use block, it doesn't matter. So when we click here, it displays. So we want something else here. We want to show the cross icon and remove the hamburger icon. That's why we have this hidden class. So let's get the open, and we got the class list. Now we want to add the class of hidden. So add class name is hidden. Let's save. When I click on that, it hides and it displays. Now we want to remove the class of hidden with this close class. So let's do that. Close dot class list remove, and the class name is hidden. Let's save, and it works fine. So I'm just going to copy this and paste it here. Now it will be the close. So when I click on the close icon, it becomes hidden again. So let's make it none, and we want the close icon to be hidden. So add, and this one remove. Let's save, and it works just fine. So this is our project, and if you want to get the source file, I will add the source file to the GitHub repository. You will get the link in the description below. Don't forget to check that out. And if you like this video, don't forget to subscribe, give it a thumbs up, and share the video with friends. Thank you very much for watching. See you in the next video.